I felt it getting stale, around season 6. Actually, I also felt it getting stale around season 2 and season 1, but I would get these second wins. Contractually, like I always assumed, and my first lawyer had told me, oh yeah, you can quit any time, and then so at some point I kind of said, it was around season 2 or 3, so I think I'm gonna quit. And I, well, I thought you said I could quit. So well, yeah, but they can sue you, and they can. So well, you didn't tell me that part when I signed it.
That was that manager dude from Burger World. He says you have to go to work right now.
No way! That sucks! It sucks!
I think my contract, with all the renewing options, went to 8 seasons. I was like, 8 seasons? You gotta be kidding me.
Hey, how come you don't have to go to work?
'Cause I'm, busy watching TV.
Oh, yeah.
What I did is I ended up with the Beavis and Butthead movie. I kind of negotiated. I said, okay, well, I'll do this movie, but we gotta end it at season 7, So, or maybe it was the sequel. Anyway, somehow I used my leverage to negotiate out of the last season. So, a season being 30 to 35 episodes. So we did a total of 7 of them.
Well, I'm Beavis, and I'm a miracle or something. And I'm sick of all you people getting in the way of my natural power. Butthole.
I really liked National Lampoon when I discovered it my senior year in high school, and the first couple of years of college I used to read that a lot. I used to always wish that those comics in National Lampoon were animated. I'd always imagine them animated, and I always like it in print or in a comic when you see somebody laughing and they actually spell it H-U-H. It's like, huh, huh, huh. So when I'd drawn the first storyboard for Beavis and Butthead, I just kind of drew these huh, huh, huhs around them all the time. I was even thinking of animating them as they talk. That was too much work, so I didn't do it.
That was cool.
Joe what?
Mama?
Joe Mama! Hey, that's great!
Certain people, if I knew I was making them laugh, I knew I was doing something well. Like if Yvette was good to have around, if something's this Chris Brown, people that, a lot of times when I'm writing, I'm thinking, I'm trying to make my brother laugh, or I'm trying to make an old friend laugh. And so if you have some of these people around, and you're just trying to make them laugh, then that always helps.
The most important thing you can have on a camper is a good propane regulator.
Hey, baby.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
I didn't even know what these words meant. I got to tell you, they lied to me. I actually found out through Tony Eastman what things meant, and I asked him, Mike, Chris, is that what you meant? No, we didn't know that. Cornhole and well, I didn't even know.
Hello? Damn it. Nobody here. Damn it. Bunghole! Oh, yeah. That worked pretty good, yeah.
Everything happens through the process of acting. When I was an animator and would draw, I was just... I had to become that character. I become any character that I'm working with. the only way it works is to really understand the character and really be in that character's skin. That was the amazing thing, that the people who were receptive to the show were either in one or two categories. They either were the audience and loving it because they didn't get that anything was being made fun of, or they were aware of. That's why I felt it had the potential to go way beyond.
These seeds suck.
I knew you guys would screw this up. I just had to see for myself.
What do you know about Nacho's Daria?
Yeah, diarrhea.
There's something that just was inherently in my bones that I could relate to.
Not a creature with spirit.
There was a part of me that was these characters. I'd like to think I was smarter.
Damn it, McVicker! Quit screwing around! I'll take you out back, and I'll kick your ass if you don't shape up!
I knew it instantly.
That hand who was writing that was outside of that audience, but reflecting the audience.
Character humor. I mean, Beavis and Butthead is pure character humor, and in fact, many of the ideas for Beavis and Butthead episodes would start with Beavis and Butthead do something that's a very normal thing for people to do, and the only thing that makes it different is that Beavis and Butthead are doing it.
This thing is starting to piss me off.
Mike had come from a comedy tradition that hadn't been on TV at the time. While it seemed very crude and edgy, it was really a very old-fashioned, sort of slow, countrified kind of style of comedy, where the comedy came out of characters simply behaving rather than acting. There's actually a line you could draw between Beavis and Butthead and Andy Griffith in terms of the style of the way the comedy worked. Even though the topics were very different, the character comedy was very much the same.
Oh, hey there, Master Cleaver. Aren't you supposed to be in school?
Well, I guess so. But all I know is I'm supposed to come in here and buy some cigarettes.
Hey, you wouldn't be buying these for Eddie now, would you?
Gee, how'd you know?
You know, if you look at it from a comedy math point of view, it's really very old-fashioned kind of humor, even though at the time it was upsetting people with the topics that it was. I mean, they were just dumb guys. And there's a real long tradition of dumb guy comedies.
You guys aren't drunk. You're just stupid.
The show's kind of making fun of everybody in it. Nobody's portrayed positively. Except for maybe Daria, and maybe once in a while like a customer in Burger World who's complaining.
Hey, come on, can't somebody open another register?
I don't have all day, you know.
I got 3 kids in the car. Come on.
I don't think they're mean intentionally. That may sound weird to some people, but they don't know any better. And I think there's a freedom that you get by just being stupid, you know. And sometimes it's liberating, I think, to watch. But it doesn't mean that you're intentionally cruel. And I think that's the difference between when it works and when it doesn't a lot of the time.
Check it out, Butthead. Somebody left their locker open.
Let's close it for him.
Let's close it again.
Like they say, the difference between good and great is in the details, you know, and that's why, you know, sometimes I drive people crazy on King of the Hill about those little details in the animation, but it's so important.
Beavis, everything I need for the rest of my life is in this store.
Yeah, it's closed. This sucks.
People who go to animation school, it's tough. It was tough on my shows anyway, because I don't like a lot of the standard cartoon things. Like the standard cartoon way of having someone talk, the Hanna-Barbera thing, is you have them go like this, and then when they talk, they put their hand like this, where they make a point and they go, da-da-da, and then they move their hand, you know, they move their head up and down like this, and it's cocked wrists when they hold a drink, and it's really effeminate. Characters are either overly effeminate or over muscular, and you know, some of that even got through. There's an episode, Car Wash, where Butthead says something to Beavis.
I'll say I'm like your lawyer, and I'll tell the driver to like pay us off.
They had him laughing with their, you know, like going, you know, when they're doing their dumb laugh, and it took a while to get rid of all that stuff and to get, you know, a lot of the more subtle things and the animation working, but it's always nice to hear that people notice stuff like that, because that's the kind of thing that I would obsess over. There's something really funny about cartoon pain, and I used to love it in the Roadrunner, like, I don't know, the Coyote's expressions when he's in pain, or when he's just falling down into the abyss there. I used to love doing that with Beavis, like, his eyes bug out, have his eyebrows even go up.
Here's a quarter. Could you, buy me one of those, those things you put in your thing when you got your thing?
One of the girls who worked on the show had come in, and she just dyed her hair purple or something, and there were a couple writer types just kind of doing the usual, like, oh, something looks different about you. I'm not sure what it is. And Felton's just sitting there quietly, and they're doing their kind of jokey, like, oh, is it your shoes? And Felton kind of goes, yeah, something looks different. Did you get your tubes tied? I was like, what? But then I ended up, going into the booth, and I had Beavis say that chick looks like she had her tubes tied, and Butthead saying, what are you talking about? And, it's just, Felton was always good that way, to just kind of derail things. And when I'd need somebody to just take it into left field, he was always good at that.
Would you like to pet my poopy?
No, thank you. Drive through.
Mike also told me about some friend of his that used to masturbate into a fish tank. You should ask him about that. But then, that's a level that most of us are at. Some of us outgrow it, and many of us don't.
Maybe you should stick your wiener in the bug zapper.
Yeah. Let's get this down here. Yeah, there we go. Just like that.
Don't wear yourselves out, boys. Save some energy for me.
This is it, Beavis. We're finally gonna score.
Thank God.
When we let people know we were doing the movie, people like Bruce Willis, Demi Moore, and others came out of the woodwork and wanted to do voices, and it was the easiest booking we've ever done, even though those people didn't really get paid too much to do it.
Bruce Willis came up, in the script I'd said sort of a Jack Ruby type character or something like that, and he came up with something that just worked perfectly with the way it was drawn.
You sure these guys could pull this off, Earl? It's gotta look like an accident.
All right, who are you? CIA, FBI, ATF?
Hey, Butthead, it's her.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Also, David Letterman's in it. He's not in the credits, but he's Butthead's dad.
I scored with these two chicks. True story.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
You scored with two chicks?
Yeah, they were sluts.
The visual of them looking over the Grand Canyon and looking at the donkey and just saying it's coming out of the ass of the ass. I think it's those deep, meaningful scenes like that resonate with me.
But then it's like also coming out of the ass of the ass.
It's one of those movies that, because it is such a unique set of characters, that I don't think they'll ever age. And so 10 years later, it kind of shocks you. Wow, it's that old.
One of the great things that I think that I was so proud of, and I know Mike was proud of in the movie, was that it brought in, bigger audience. God, I know we were so thrilled that Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up, and the Times, the New Yorker, the Times, and who knows what else gave it great reviews because they got it.
So, any of you chicks want to make out during the movie?
I actually remember trying to explain how excited I was to my dad and say, well, I'm starting to write for this new show. It's on MTV. I don't know if you'd like it. It's about 14-year-old kids who are really sort of stupid and self-destructive and into heavy metal. But I think it's got a chance to really be something. And I remember my dad saying, well, are you planning on writing for something else? And, he just didn't understand.
Let me ask you a question, sir. Is your butt important to you?
What? Damn it, get the hell out of here, you damn son of a bitches! Damn it, get!
I would defend it for a little bit, but mainly in a way, you really don't know. You just take a look, you just watch it, you really don't know. It's not what you think it is. So it's really funny, and that's all. I wouldn't get into fights.
It's like, we don't want to work, we just want the money.
And chicks, yeah.
I'd get hurt, like it would be like unjust. Like I could go into a rant like Beavis if I wanted to about it. It's not fair.
Beavis! Damn it, you will listen when I'm talking! No way! I'm sick of school, and I'm sick of you! What the?
Then it would come out that they never saw it. They were just picking up on the hype, and then I'd resent even more the whole press, negative press, because that's what people knew. They didn't know the show.
There was an article, I don't know where it started, I think in a Canadian paper, that talked about, it said the episode where they set a cat on fire. There's no such episode. It never happened. It got reprinted in all these newspapers around, it was printed in my hometown paper. Never happened. The thing I always say about it, about all that controversy is, okay, Beavis and Butthead was a show on cable television, right? So you have to be responsible enough to pay your cable bill, to have cable installed, to do all those things. And I just can't imagine being responsible enough to do that and not being responsible enough to turn it off when you have to, or when your kid's watching something you don't want them to see, and when there's a disclaimer in front of the show saying kids shouldn't watch it. It seems ridiculous to me.
Get hurt, expelled, arrested, possibly deported. To put it another way, don't try this at home.
One of the things you have to deal with is sometimes, you would say like, oh, I'm a writer for Beavis and Butthead, and people would be like, well, that show has writers? People just would dismiss it as being so stupid. Nobody writes that.
Okay, I'll trade you for these diapers. You can poop in them.
Okay, I'll just put these back for you.
I'm very proud of the fact that the writing that we had and the team of writers that contributed all have proven themselves again and again at how talented they are. Joe Stillman has co-written Shrek 2. Sam Johnson, Chris Marcel were writers on Frasier for a number of years. Eitan Cohen, King of the Hill. Larry Doyle, a Simpsons writer. David Felton was the editor of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Well, I think it was a very exciting time to be here at MTV, and I just think that it's one of those things that personally, like, you never know what's going to happen in your life, and it just came out of the blue, and like everybody's life was changed for a while, and it was very, a lot of fun, and the fact that we were all like getting work and credit and awards for something so stupid. I've written some important pieces in my time and stuff like that, but this was probably as much fun as I've ever had.
Yep, I'm starting to feel it.
Beavis, it doesn't get any better than this.
I was ready to stop when it came to an end. I kind of miss it now. I don't regret quitting when I did, though, because I actually think it's something that I could come back to and do little bits of. I don't know if I want to do a full-blown show again, but I felt it getting stale, around season 6. Actually, I also felt it getting stale around season 2, season 1, but I would get these second wins that would carry me through, and I don't know, I was so tired of doing it.
You boys remind me of me when I was a kid.
Yeah. Someday we're gonna be like you.
We're gonna be drunk.
That's my boys.
I think the main thing is we all needed a little bit of a break. I think the movie was sort of the capper, even though I think in our final season, which aired after the movie came out, I still think we did some really strong episodes. And I think in a way we could have kept going strong with the episodes.
If Mike ever wanted to make more Beavis and Buttheads, I'd happily contribute. They're such versatile characters, even though they seem one-dimensional in terms of their personalities, that makes them so versatile to put them in almost anything. You could bring them back today in a second and put them in today's world, which is slightly different than that world, and they would be just as funny in it. Because they are, at their root, almost kind of classic comic characters.
And Mike knows that I would love to do the sequel because I do feel like that it hasn't aged. In fact, if anything, there's a whole new generation that could discover Beavis and Butthead. Maybe it's on home video now.
Well, I've thought about that, you know, what's it like bringing him back?
I'm back. Cool.
I think if I brought him back, the best thing to do would just be keep them stuck in time in their same weird outfits. And I mean, they look weird anyway. They have these weird shorts, and it was supposed to be, to me, Adidas tennis shoes and black Adidases and gray shorts, which I happened to be wearing at the time I was first animating them. You know, the Simpsons, the Flintstones. I mean, these cartoon characters, the good thing about them is that they don't age, so why not have them not age? I actually have thought it would be fun to have Beavis and Butthead be like in their 50s. For some reason I have a harder time imagining them being in that middle ground in their 20s or 30s, but I can imagine them being old.
This sucks. Let's go get drunk.
Yeah.
You create these iconic characters, and they don't really age, and I think that's the case here.
You're gonna
That was cool, Beavis. We're like on our way.
He loved it so much that he put his heart into it, and I think that's what makes it still great. And it's pure in that way, and there are a few creators like that, not too many.
I think it's really about being true to what, you know, teen boys do and the prism through which they see life, and particularly innocent ones like those two. I mean, they are really base, and whatever they feel comes out of their mouths. And I sort of was that when I was a teenager. It's sad to say, but everyone knows Beavis and Butthead. You could relate to it, animated or real. They were part of your life at some point.
To anybody who will listen, I will never have a more fun job in my entire life.
It's just very hard to watch almost any of the episodes and not crack up.
No character that I've ever worked with has been as pure, and that's like the word I use to describe them a lot.
It's I gotta say, a more satisfying show to do when it was right, when it was done right, because Beavis and Butthead, it's like you put a little bit in and you get more out than you put in. To me, Beavis and Butthead, when it's good, has that thing. It's a ridiculous premise. Three Stooges, it's the same thing over and over again, but I can keep watching it. Cheech and Chong, I don't, you know, you just kind of want to be there with those guys, and I kind of hoped that Beavis and Butthead would be in that category.
I'm just glad it's finally over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, really. At least now we can get on with our lives.